Last week I looked at the rise of the indie musician and I posed the question, but how on earth can they ever compete with big studios and the sound that's generated from all the equipment that the big studios have? These indie musicians take a huge chunk of the recorded music industry revenue pie at 36% or over $6 billion. $6 billion with a B. Yet only 5% of them are signed to a label. In earlier sessions, I looked at the tremendous power that record labels wielded up until streaming came along. But given those indie musician numbers, it's evident that the labels have lost a ton of clout. But how can a small independent musician set up shop and compete with the big boys? It's a good question. Well, it's probably due to a lot of factors. The internet, online streaming, you can do your own marketing. The DSPs, they're not that expensive. It's not that expensive to get your name out there. However, there's another huge reason, and I believe that this is at the core, at the heart of why some indie musicians are rising so quickly. When you hear the words music studio, what do you think of? These huge, monstrous rooms with lots of microphones and microphone stands, cords all over the place, people coming and going, maybe a separate room, a sound engineer with gigantic mixing boards or consoles. People are buzzing all around, right? That's a studio. Well, yeah, those studios still exist, but there's been quite a shift underway now for some time within the recorded music industry. And that is the ability for the small artist to create pro-level music sound without using a large, glamorous studio. With the right equipment, the smaller musician can compete with those big labels and even big artists by creating highest quality pro studio level sound. Some modern recording equipment is amazing, and if you have a studio that fulfills certain sound properties, you can create a decent record. Just to give an idea of the size of the home studio and indie musician market, there's an online message board called Gearspace. That is a website that appeals to that market. Their member base at Gearspace is 400,000 people, and they go in there and they discuss pro audio equipment, recording techniques, and similar items. It all began way back in 2002, of course, right around when streaming started, and today has posted over 1 million discussions with 13 million replies. And I'm a member, and every odd time they'll have a pro from a real studio come in there and talk to the musicians. But that's what's going on. I believe that with the equipment that I have and the acoustic properties that we have, well, it still might not be Studio B or Abbey Road. It's close enough. What I do is track a song, hand it over to a professional producer to mix and master, and I'm just one teeny weeny independent musician. There are many of us, and each have their own studios and methods. The rise of the small independent artist is not lost on manufacturers that design and build microphones, mic preamps, interfaces, boards, and other recording equipment. Each year, at a gathering held by the National Association of Music Merchants, or NAMM, N-A-M-M, pro audio manufacturers display their latest products. Today, there are more and more manufacturers of microphones, preamps, interfaces, sound equipment, and making units that are priced with both the serious and home studio or pro studio in mind. Iconic companies like Sennheiser-Neumann, AKG, Neve, and others, they're all creating some incredible products, and some new players have joined the audio equipment game as well. I'd add that back when I was adding equipment to record with, I made a conscious decision to only purchase pieces that would be used in one of those huge studios. I'm recording right now I've got an RCA 44BX microphone. They ain't cheap. It's going through an RME interface. They're not cheap. The preamp is a Phoenix, not cheap. So I did make that decision to only purchase those pieces that would be used in a big studio. And I can say over the years, every time I bought some studio gear, it really hurts the pocketbook. It really hurts. But those decisions, it was the right decision, because every time I've done it, it also provided me a lifetime of high-end analog sound. That's the sound that I wanted for my acoustic country music. And it gives me the best recorded sound possible from my acoustic instruments. As a music producer once remarked about good equipment, you can hear the money, and you can. So, not sort of boasting about my studio, my point is here that indie musicians, there's a lot of them around, and they represent billions and billions of dollars, and they're taking this stuff really serious. That's why you get so many breakout artists. And Taylor Swift, like I said, and I don't know if it was today or last week, she was an indie. So you can get to the top being an indie, but you have to do it the right way, obviously. Before wrapping up today, one caveat in the home studio and adding equipment subject area. A problem with this, of course, is that some manufacturing is done on the cheap to attract these small artists. Some products are made offshore and have come down in price so much that, well, they look good, they look like the real thing, and they appeal to many people on price. The ability of some equipment to faithfully record professional grade sound, to me, it's compromised. That's just my opinion. And today's song is Dixie, I Call It Home. Having visited and performed in the South many times over my life, I wrote a song about its unique and homespun personality. I'm Canadian, though, and so I collaborated with my friend and Nashville-based performer John Foster to bring it home. John's a huge talent. He's performed with the Beach Boys and many other artists. I hope you enjoy Dixie, I Call It Home, performed by John.
If God picked up a painter's brush and looked down from on high, when he found the perfect canvas down below, it would be just like the Georgia night, awash in starlit fields, beneath the silver moon, moving slow. You can feel it in the cotton fields, in the cities and the towns, and by the clear blue streams where cool water rushes down. That feel is so familiar, no matter where you go. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it home. As a young man, my aim was high. I'd make my dreams come true. Southern pride, the quiver for my bow. Outlasting kings and wars that lives in every southern soul. The same pride years ago Granddaddy had known. You can feel it in the cotton fields, in the cities and the towns, by the clear blue streams where cool water rushes down. That feel is so familiar, no matter where you go. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it home. These are the things that always comfort me. Something way inside, something you can't see. You can feel it in the cotton fields, in the cities and the towns, and by the clear blue streams where cool water rushes down. That feel is so familiar, no matter where you go. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it home. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it
home. It's time now to take a look at what is going on in the musical life of Freddie Spaghetti.
In last week's episode of The Musical Life of Freddie Spaghetti, we were following Freddie on his second tour. And as the tour moves along from town to town, Freddie remains extremely excited about his new career, his new life. However, this excitement, it's also a little bit tempered, a little bit muted, since he misses being at home. His calls to Britt become more frequent, and the usual Sunday call with his mom, well, they increase to a couple times a week. The weeks all run together in a big blur. After Detroit, they travel to Windsor, then Elmira, New York, then Albany. Freddie loses track of days of the week, the number of shows they've done, and even which week the tour was in. He misses his Saturdays with Britt. He wants to see his parents and Jenks. However, he's a professional musician, and this is what he's wanted since forever. And he's doing it. So there's no problem, right? No longer is he a guy sitting at home in an apartment with a Zoom recorder and a guitar in his hand. This act, it's slick, it's professional. He enjoys the performing. He enjoys the applause, the music. With all these supporting musicians, the sound of the band is beyond Freddie's wildest dreams. During both tours, he's met a lot of great musicians and found some new friends. He's also become pretty good at playing the guitar. After all, what else is there to do in a hotel room but write songs and play a guitar? Sometimes after checking into the hotel, Freddie has the habit of taking out the guitar, sitting on the hotel couch or bed, and turning on the TV set, playing around with new melodies and lyrics, just like he did in the old days at the apartment. But he missed being home. Thanks for listening to Sound Threads. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week we'll have a brand new edition, and I hope you'll join us then too.